Well, hey everybody, Robbie here. This week we are celebrating people in our church making the commitment to join the church as members. Basically saying, I am ready to be a part of this community. I'm gonna commit myself to this community, to this family. I am all in 100%. And with that, we wanted to share with you a story of someone in our church who found family, who found community here at Covenant Church and made that commitment to be all in. And maybe you'll relate to this story just a little bit. We want to share with you Vance's story. Vance grew up as an only child here in Eastern North Carolina. Though he met Jesus at a young age and gave his life to Jesus, the extent of his relationship was pretty much, don't do this, don't do that.
As far as the personal relationship with Jesus, I didn't know what that was. Church was go in, you're dressed accordingly, and you sit in this wooden pew that if you moved in, it made a noise, so you had to be still. And if you weren't still, you might get a pinch on the leg, you know. And I don't know that I recognized at that age that I had any kind of personal relationship with God, just that He was my Savior and that I was doing the right thing to keep from else I didn't want to burn.
Like so many of us, Vance began to find his identity and his affirmation in things other than God. He had a season in his life where he wanted to try things. He wanted to see if there was another way. But as he got older, his friends began to move away, they got married, he realized that he just felt alone.
You have a mindset of something you want to go do, and it feels good, you're having fun, and then you go home and the next morning it's just empty. There's no answers in the bottom of bottles. In the end of the day, I didn't have a purpose or belonging. There seemed to be no reason for getting up the next day.
Vance finally came to the place where he just wanted to belong somewhere. He wanted to be known. He wanted to have a community of people to do life with. Around this time, Vance's mom invites him to come to Covenant.
There used to be chairs right beside that little sound booth over here in Building B, the student center now, and there was little chairs back there, and I sat in that. Doors right there, and just in case I needed to to bolt out or slip out, or I wasn't scared or anything, just wanted to, maybe didn't want to be here. But I had my arm in a sling, and Branson was walking down the aisle, and he stopped and asked me, inquired, and shook my hand, and I was just totally impressed that he was the pastor of this church, and that he would take a moment to do that, and I hadn't really experienced that before. So it just made me feel comfortable.
For the first time in a long time, Vance finally found a place that he could belong to. Though he had given his life to Jesus as a young boy, his relationship with Jesus finally began to feel real. It finally began to make sense. That's when Vance finally came to the conclusion that this was his family.
And having that experience opened the door for me to say, okay, this is a place I could be comfortable at. And I think it was a sermon, he kept preaching about saying yes to God and doing things, and I had never said yes to God and doing things, and what I should do. It's pretty much so what Vance wanted to do, and if God fit in there, that was fine, but but saying yes and beginning to, I don't know how to describe the feeling when you say yes and you make that step, and then you're doing what you're supposed to do, and it's just comfortable, it's just warm, it's just home.
Now, you'll probably see Vance serving in one of the 20 different areas that Vance serves in because he has an incredible heart for ministry. He loves to be here on our campus serving in any way that he can. We love Vance and his story and love seeing what God is doing in Vance's life.